cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to Music Monday. So I hate to keep coming back every week, you know, a fresh week with a harmful situation. So we lost Fat Man Scoop. And if a lot of y'all not familiar with Fat Man Scoop, he's done a lot of songs with Missy, which Music Makes You Lose Control, which was a wonderful song. This was one of the first ones when I knew who Fat Man Scoop was. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he collapsed on stage doing a performance. He was rapping, but when he got behind the DJ booth, he kind of collapsed, you know. So he was 53 years old. So, you know, my condolences to the family of Fat Man Scoop.
For sure.
You know, and friends and stuff like that, you know. But in the hip-hop community, man, we keep losing artists. Seem like every week.
Every week.
We losing somebody, man. And it's kind of sad, you know, but just wanted to say that he did work with people like LL Cool J,
really?
Fugees, Timbaland and Magoo.
How old was he? If you mind me asking.
53 years old.
You just said that.
I did.
I
So what his main thing was, Fat Man Scoop was a big collaborator or hype man.
Yeah, he was like he was the first well, not gonna say the first DJ Khaled, but you know that's where you used to hearing him, you know,
right,
hyping people up.
Exactly.
I'm sure people know his voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta know Fat Man Scoop. He did the yelling, but he worked perfect on the hype crunk songs, you know, and I think his role was basically just to get people more involved in the song without seeing a performance. Because if you hear his voice, it's so energetic on these songs, like Lose Control that he did with Missy.
Right.
I don't know if y'all remember that song.
Yeah, Music Make You Lose Control.
Yeah, well, that was him on the hype vocal.
So he's the same guy that does
Now let me clear my throat.
No, that's DJ Cool. And DJ Cool is real cool.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
the other one
He's
where
from DC, DJ Cool.
the one with Faith
Go-Go
Evans,
music.
I never knew that was you know that get louder, get noise.
Yeah,
that's him, right?
That's him.
That's what I thought.
That's
what
Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah.
That's his character.
Yeah.
So anything you hear, you're gonna hear that he's got a big voice. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is during his passing on stage, they had the nearest emergency team nearby, but that didn't help him. I think it was when he hit the ground. I think he was already dead because CPR didn't help, and they had paramedics near. Of course, you know, concerts, they have a paramedic or several,
right,
you know, for the crowd or for the audience, whatever.
Right.
But what I want to make clear is when you're a performer and you deal with a lot of stress and a lot of, I guess, interaction on stage, you have to be, because you can't just get on stage and walk around.
Right.
But at this age, I mean, we lose some to drugs, but at this particular, I don't think this was a drug situation. And the only reason why I say that is because when you're a performer under a lot of stress, you can have a heart attack.
Right.
You know, you could pass out. And I think this is what we've seen here. I don't think it was an issue of him being on drugs or nothing like that.
Not at all. I think it was the same issue as when we had one here in Houston, our own.
Yeah, Big Pokey died the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, before that, there was somebody else. I don't want to say the name now because I don't want to get it wrong. but Pokey wasn't the first that I've heard of.
Well, I'm sorry. Even if it's not like drug related, I mean, but think about it. You got the name Fat Man Scoop,
right?
Because you're a fat man,
right?
You got the name Big Pokey because you're a big man,
right?
Big Pond.
So when you associate fat and big, a lot of times you associate. It's unfortunate, but you look at high cholesterol. You think of high cholesterol,
right?
You think around clogged arteries,
right?
So is it possible? Yeah,
that
diabetes.
Is an underlying condition.
Yeah. Is it possible that maybe the heart attack comes from clogged arteries?
Right.
Like to eat.
You gotta eat the
who
right
knows?
food.
And so it could be too much stress on the heart when you're moving around energetic on that stage like that.
I agree.
But you also have to factor in, like Slash said, the age. He's not a young
53.
cat anymore. Yeah, so entertaining at that age still, I think artists have to have a workout regimen, to try to help prevent or eliminate these things from occurring.
I agree with that.
So here's something to think about, though. Wouldn't being on the stage like that a form of working out?
It is a form of working out, but if you're not doing it on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying, your body is not used to that.
And if you're eating bad,
I see where you're coming from, Freddie G's, because if they're performing on a regular basis,
but then you're on backdoor and eating steak and lobster and shrimp and unhealthy foods. It's not adding up because you're eating unhealthy, but you're, it don't add up. So it could be the eating.
Slash, did they ever give a cause of death?
No, I think they just saying he had underlying conditions and he just collapsed on stage. I don't know the exact
what the underlying conditions
what the underlying conditions were, or if that was even why he collapsed. Yeah. But I just think that that's an important topic for some people that's out here looking to get in the music industry. And you got to realize that if you're going to do these shows, like K Money said, you got to have a regular workout, daily. That way, this is something that your body is used to. So when you begin to do it, you may overdo it trying to perform and haven't been working out regularly.
Because you can imagine the anxiety that they get from performing.
Right.
It just not. I don't know if anxiety is the right word. The adrenaline that they receive, they get from performing.
The amount of people can change.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So I just think it's important to mention the fact that there can be underlying conditions that can cause one to collapse on stage like that. And for me, that's a loss to the music industry. We lost Fat Man Scoop, and just past week, Thursday last week, we lost Rich Homie Quan, another good artist.
Yeah.
And he had songs back in the day that a lot of people knew. He had Flex,
Walk Through,
Type of Way. So he was a really creative artist, and he was mainstream. He became a mainstream artist from Atlanta. Now, he died at the age of 34. Young. And lately, they've been getting younger and younger and younger. And so, to me, this is important for the younger community. The younger community to understand. You have to take care of yourself accordingly. You have to eat the right foods. A lot of us don't do that. It's okay to drink. It's okay to smoke.
Yeah, drink in moderation.
But you have to do this stuff in moderation. So, again, when they released information on Rich Homie Quan, there was no reason released on why. But there's been a lot of speculations that a lot of people, common people, of course, are going to speculate. So they're saying he overdosed, or now he wasn't performing.
No.
So we know that it wasn't an underlying condition that made him pass out or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're saying that
I read a couple of reports that said he was foaming at the mouth. Two different reports. So.
They had the 911 call going around on social media with his girlfriend, which is the person that actually found him.
She was there with him?
Yeah, she said, he was asleep. And when she woke up the next morning, he was still asleep. But she did notice, he had been foaming at the mouth. So like you said, speculation. That will cause one to speculate.
Right.
But he wasn't performing.
you think it's drugs, and another reason why this is really important is because we know that there is drugs out here that are taking the lives of a lot of our, younger community. The pills with the fentanyl in it, pill popping, is I mean, you actually got a better chance now at smoking crack. And I don't want to put that on nobody.
Bad, yeah.
But you see how that sounds, right?
Yeah, that's bad.
The crackhead's not dying.
Yeah, they just being
You understand what I'm
crackheadish.
saying?
That's it.
They just doing crackhead shit.
Mama, I smoked the TV.
Yeah.
But the people that's popping pills,
Yeah.
they're dying.
They're just not waking up. Yeah.
And they dying
They
young.
literally all rolling the dice.
They rolling the dice, So I wouldn't just really play with my life like that, man. And I'm not saying that to say that Rich Homie Quan, took a pill with fentanyl. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's possible. And this is what people are speculating. And I've been hearing people say, oh, he overdosed, so what can you overdose on that you don't have to really overdose?
Yeah.
It's fentanyl.
But in that lifestyle, drugs is the way they come at you.
Right.
Just like it's drugs.
Right.
The women. It's just a certain lifestyle. So you have to have the mentality
You have to have
to
that
and
mentality.
discipline to like you say, use it moderately if you plan to use it or choose to use it.
Right. Now, another thing that's about this case, his name was just brought up on that trial with Young Thug and what's the other guy that's on trial right now, or he's testifying?
Woody.
Woody, yeah.
So now Woody mentioned Rich Homie Quan's name just last week in this trial.
In what capacity? Like
Some kind of way they were in together. Now, Rich Homie Quan, in his before his career, he dropped out of college. And, this trial is talking about robberies and killings and stuff like that. Well, before Rich Homie Quan's rap career, he was arrested on robbery charges. So it's starting to sound like he was in with
them, and he was robbing with
and he
them,
was
and
probably, but his name came up. Woody mentions his name. I don't know, what aspect of how much he had to do with that, but his name came up, and unfortunately, he passed.
Yeah.
But again, that lifestyle, it brings about so much because I don't know if they trying to impress somebody by taking pills, or are you trying to maintain this type of lifestyle? Is this what helped you stay up? Is this what helped you be productive?
Creative.
Is this what helped you be creative?
Yeah.
So we never know what a person needs in order to put himself on that level that he needs to be on to be the best at his creativity. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Hollywood, the people get caught up in cocaine and all kind of other drugs. So we know with being in the entertainment field,
There you
there's a
go.
lot going on.
so the only thing that we know about him is that he was foaming at the mouth. They don't actually do
They
that.
haven't ruled the cause of death
that-
yet.
They never.
Yeah, so
they
we don't
never-
know if he was taking drugs. Or
We
not.
don't know.
We just assume based upon the lifestyle of a
The
rapper,
lifestyle, right?
and we just assume that he may have been associated with drugs. Okay,
Right.
I just want to say that because we're not saying that he took drugs.
Right.
We're just kind of assuming
Speculating
that,
because
that
this
he's
is what
around-
people are talking about.
Yeah.
This is what you're hearing. You're
Yeah.
hearing people say, "Oh, he overdosed," but they never released this.
Yeah.
The medical
So it's never
examiners
been released. Okay.
never released this.
Not yet, anyway.
But this is what people are saying.
Okay.
So I just wanted to talk about that because there are inspiring rappers that's listening that needs to understand, if you're not into a drug lifestyle, don't let that be what makes you creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't
Don't
be
use the drug to enhance your creativity.
There you
right.
go.
'Cause,
Exactly.
using the drugs to enhance your creativity is just a false sense of creativity.
Exactly.
It's kind of
What it
like
is.
it's kind of like, oh, I drive better when I'm drunk.
Right.
Oh, I shoot pool better when I'm drunk.
Right.
Well, you can't do nothing better when you're under the influence.
That's what your mind thinks.
Yeah.
So your mindset has to be right because that's the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
So, Now him and Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug was a pair. You know, they was Rich Gang.
Mm-hmm.
That Birdman.
Yep.
So they fell out, and it spilled into the trial. Now, I know for a fact, and I'm not trying to change, but this is a loss, of course, for hip hop or for music. This is definitely a loss. But then there are other things when you're trying to win. And what they was trying to win with is, why are you robbing all the rappers in the city?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're trying to win, but you end up losing. So my thing is just, you know.
So when you're using the phrase "win," you're speaking of it from a standpoint of on the come up, trying to come up.
Right. And there's several different definitions for win. Whether it's a win of an artist trying to come up, or if it's a win for the music industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. And to me, this one is a loss. You know, and they were trying to win as individuals, robbing people. But here you are in a court case, and now what's going to happen with Young Thug, because there's one person that they can't charge if he was being brought in to be charged for this crime that's been committed. He won't be charged
because he's deceased.
He's lost his life. Golly. So, you know, we'll see whether Young Thug wins or loses with this situation. But I know it's not a good situation either way. But my condolences go out to Rich Homie Quan's family. He had 2 kids he left behind. Big loss for music. Now, here's a win, and these brothers are out of Atlanta. They've really been friends for a while. They were in the group Migos, and they lost Takeoff. Quavo and Offset.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I think would be a win for music. Since the death of Rich Homie Quan, which was an affiliate of theirs, they got together and said, hey, man, let's talk about, you know, we used to be loyal, and we mentioned being loyal. Loyalty is forever. Loyalty is not just today and tomorrow. It's a forever thing. So what they're saying is they need to regroup as the Migos of being 2, you know, artists in the group without Takeoff. But Takeoff was the one who exposed the reason why the group fell out anyway. And loyalty was what he hinted on an interview when he sat down, and they was like, well, why did the Migos break up? Well, Takeoff hinted it's about being loyal. You know? But I think the 2 should actually get together and put whatever differences aside that they had just on the strength of Takeoff.
Well, the history of rap, groups been breaking up for a while, and they'll break up and get back together later on in life. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Well,
they're young,
and they've always done that, whether it's been hip hop, R&B, or whatever. But the reason for that, and most female groups break up sooner. The reason for that is there's too many different personalities that clash, and there's no way that they try to work that out. But anytime it's 2 or more people, you have to work out your differences. Especially if you doing business in the same, you know, faction or whatever, you have to work out those differences. You have to work through those differences. And I think this is something that they'll be able to do, put whatever beef aside that they had, because at one point they was beefing about that one girl. I can't think of her name. I think Freddie G, I think you remember her name. They were beefing about this girl. I can't think of her.
Not Sweetie, huh?
Her.
Okay.
They had a beef with her. Now, if that shouldn't be enough to hold them apart as a group, you know, don't let the girl be the reason why y'all not a group no more. Don't fall out behind that, because what we do know, and not to call her anything other than what she is, but when you're in the entertainment world, there's a lot of groupies that, you know, are around. And they will come around you, and they're gonna sleep with this one, that one, that one. It's been going on for years. Girls used to sleep with the band members of the rock band. All of them were sleeping with the same person.
Now, I know we're not calling her out anything than what she is, right?
Right.
But I do want to say this: when you think of groupies, and when you think of female groupies, what usually come to mind? Like you look at them as? Do you look at them as being smart?
Some of them could be.
Okay.
Their reasoning
Yeah.
may be smart somewhere.
Now the reason why I say that, why I asked that, is because if I'm not mistaken, I think Sweetie graduated from like USC or UCLA or something like that.
I don't know, but that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
I
that
mean, but
doesn't mean
when you mention groupie, though, that being smart is not the first thing that
Yeah.
pops in your head.
You don't think of her being smart. So I don't want to make it, I want to make sure that our listeners know that we're not calling her a groupie.
Yeah, we're not saying
Yeah,
that.
we're not saying that she's a groupie.
she's just
from what I see.
she's just the bridge between the two, and I think of why they fell out.
Yeah.
Not to say that she was the groupie that done it. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying when there's women around the entertainment field, you have to realize that some of them are groupies. You can't get upset with your homie
Yeah.
behind the groupie. You know what I mean?
No, not
so
at all.
don't let the woman be the reason y'all two fall out when y'all was friends from childhood.
Well, shit, I thought they wasn't just a group, but they were also family. I thought.
Yeah, well, Takeoff and Quavo
Well, right.
was family, but
Offset.
Offset was just a friend of Quavo.
Got you.
So I guess they're mending their differences, and I think this is a win for the music industry as a whole. And too bad that they had to lose a mutual friend
Yeah.
to come to this agreement. So a lot of time, and again, that says we need to start thinking about future before we do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about the future, because
Yep.
a lot of that, and maybe had they stayed a group and cool, maybe we still have Takeoff. Who's to say? So those two, Quavo and Offset, talking about their differences and saying that they're gonna get back to being a group of two is a win for the music industry. I think they did pretty well as far as changing what hip hop sound like for the new generation. They did a good job with it, so I think that would be a win for them to come back together and at least do another album. Now, here's another win for the music industry. Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is somebody you don't hear much about in the news. I know there had been, certain speculation,
Yeah, false allegations.
False allegations.
Yeah.
People had been saying that, he has a gambling problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that has been proved to not be true.
It's
Right.
been debunked.
Debunked.
So he has this long-term residency in Las Vegas, and I think he's been doing Las Vegas since 2016.
Oh really?
Yeah, but he's been there for a while, and anytime artists have a residency in Las Vegas, that means they're gonna be playing these events every night.
Normally it's 1 year though, right? Normally they have a 1 year
It
residency.
just depends on the contract.
Okay.
And because I think we mentioned on one of the previous shows that we did on a Monday, Janet Jackson was moving.
She's
for
taking
residency.
Usher's spot because Usher was there for a year.
Yeah.
So now it's usually every year they'll get somebody with, I think Tony. It started
New
Tony.
Edition.
Yeah, New Edition. So they'll do 1 full year.
Usher was there longer than a year.
Was it?
Yeah, he's been there longer than a year.
It looked like it was. It sounded like it was.
So Bruno Mars, man, he sold out this one show one night where he was performing at the Dolby Live Theater at Park MGM. So he was doing the show, and I saw a piece of footage that was aired on social media.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing his show, and he was in between songs at the time, and audience member needed 911, I think, and it was a guy that I saw
I saw
passed
the
out.
video. I saw that. Yeah.
But what Bruno Mars did was stop and made everybody aware that, hey, this guy needs
medical
some
attention.
medical attention, which I think is a big win for the performer, because for one, he had to be paying attention to what was going on in the audience to even see that.
Exactly. You know, out them stage lights, you really can't see an
Well,
audience
the
like
thing
that.
about it, most artists are taught not to look at the people's faces, is to look above the heads.
Yeah.
But in this instance, he couldn't have been looking above everybody's
The head. He had to
was
actually
looking
see
in the
it.
audience.
Mhm.
He's actually saw this. So that's a win for Bruno Mars. in the
Shout
music
out to
industry, man.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Now, Also, man, people don't mention it a lot. When you think of Travis Scott in that Astroworld incident,
he had the similar.
There was in that Astroworld where a few people died, lost their lives. Right. There was a point in the show where Travis actually
stopped the show
to make sure that some person got medical attention. Right. So
that pretty much has gotten overshadowed.
That's gotten overshadowed
because they rather blame him for the incident than allow him to try to help, and it's sad, but they look at the money at that situation. But shout out to Travis Scott for that. Also a native Houstonian. Again, shout out to Bruno Mars for taking care of your people that come see you. Because right now in this day of age, man, in music, you have to have a really, really good product in order for people to go out, buy the ticket,
high price ticket,
buy an outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Get in their car, drive an hour and a half.
Sit in traffic.
Pay for parking.
Stand in the line. Pay for parking. Go in, get a drink.
Eat that highest priced food.
Yep.
And watch your show. Man, do you know how good your music have to be now to sell tickets? This man sold out a show. And the reason why I wanted to mention this is because any artist that's listening, if you're a new artist, don't just see what we used to think about. What was a win for us back when we was really heavy in the music in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We knew, okay, you have to cater to the mass of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now, most artists are catering to who they are, which is 10% of the American people, because you only shooting for the ghetto people. Your style of music is only going to attract. These people don't even have no money to do all that, to go buy an outfit, to pay for your ticket, to come see you. Let alone, is your music even good enough for me to do all of that? So you have to really be the best that you can be. You have to cater to the masses. It's not just about, oh, I'm a hood superstar. Let's get off of that. That's what's going to make music better. So a win for us in the music industry is for you younger generation artists to understand that you have to actually cater to the masses. Don't just cater to the asses. Y'all get back at us. So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.